officials and Trump's team is getting ready to impose additional sanctions and tariffs on Russian economy because Vladimir Putin was delaying ceasefire talks. He was just giving Trump enough to declare any kind of partial victory in the air, partial ceasefire, any kind of success, but not enough to actually end the war. And he was delaying this whole process to buy more time for his army to invade and capture more Ukrainian land, and just to demonstrate his willingness to participate in ceasefire, just to demonstrate it, just to manipulate Donald Trump, but not to actually end this war. And it seems like for the first time, Trump's administration is starting to get this and to understand this Russia's negotiation tactics. And that's why Marco Rubio, for the first time, has said that Donald Trump is not interested in endless negotiations. And after another weeks of Russia's delaying tactics, US will be ready to impose additional sanctions and tariffs on the Russian economy. Also, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky expects the US to strengthen sanctions against Russia. Ukrainian President Zelensky also said that he has received positive signals and positive signs that US administration was working to tighten and strengthen sanctions against Russia. He has confirmed this information because Trump's administration has finally understood that Vladimir Putin was main obstacle to peace, but not Ukraine. And Vladimir Putin was delaying negotiations, but by buying more time for his army to invade even more Ukrainian land. Also, French President Emmanuel Macron reacted to this illegal strike of Russia on Kryvyi Rih. He said that Russia is mocking US President Trump's proposal on a ceasefire by targeting Ukrainian energy and civilian infrastructure. He also said that Ukraine has agreed to a full ceasefire deal for 30 days. However, Russia declined this offer. That's why President Macron is confident that Russia is the main obstacle to peace. And also, as we know, French President Emmanuel Macron and British Prime Minister Keir Starmer have been working on the coalition of the willing of European countries ready to deploy troops to Ukraine if necessary. In case of a big ceasefire deal, the United Kingdom, France, and other European allies are ready to deploy troops to Ukraine in case of ceasefire deal to properly enforce this deal and deter Russia from another attack in the future. It is also an open question whether European allies are ready to deploy troops to Ukraine without the ceasefire deal, because Russia has been declining this initiative and has been declining any kind of a full ceasefire proposals. On the other hand, we have another statement from French President Emmanuel Macron. He said that he is also ready to deploy troops to Ukraine without Russia's approval. So we have wait and see whether European allies are ready to deploy troops even without Russia's green lighting this, and even without a peace, without this ceasefire deal, which seems to be so far away from now. And this question should be really considered by the European allies and also other allies around the globe. Meanwhile, US President Donald Trump is not ready to negotiate also limiting tariffs on Europe, even if Europe does not pay enough money for the United States' willingness to negotiate. So US President Donald Trump is not ready to negotiate limiting his own tariffs. As we know, US President Trump has imposed tariffs against all countries around the globe, except Russia and other limited amount of countries, because he thinks that this move will increase domestic production in the United States and will force companies around the globe to return production to the United States to improve and also to create more jobs in the US. However, the global economists are confident that this move will only rise prices for the Americans and will increase inflation in the United States and put America's economy in a recession. However, Donald Trump has been playing golf in his golf club, international golf club in Florida, during this breaking news around the globe and high-stakes discussions. That's why it seems that he is not ready to cancel his decision on the tariffs. And also, he says that it will be important for U.S. President Donald Trump to negotiate a better deal with other allies around the globe. Also, there have been another statement from the White House officials. The White House official said that the U.S. did not impose any kind of tariffs on Russia, just not to harm negotiations over Ukraine between Russia and the United States. However, these negotiations have reached a stalemate because Russia has not agreed to a full ceasefire deal. That's why Trump's administration should impose tariff sanctions and other means which were announced by U.S. President Donald Trump and also other members of his team. And in the end of our conversation, we will cover recent protests in America, in the United States, against Trump's policies and Elon Musk's. So after this weekend, many Ukrainians, thousands of Americans have been protesting in the United States against Trump's tariffs and Trump's inner circle decisions against Elon Musk and other not very popular decision regarding his cutting social aid, social security, and other policies, as they have been marching through the United States and protesting against Donald Trump's administration. Also, we have heard another criticism of Trump's decision from the Democrats, from the former U.S. President Barack Obama and former U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris. And also, there have been another protests with demonstrations which were called hands off and to protect democracy around the United States. And also, it seems like U.S. President Donald Trump is deciding to remove Elon Musk from this office. Politico recently reported that Elon Musk would be excluded from his position because he will return to business as usual as the head of the X company and as the head of the Tesla company. However, it seems like Elon Musk's ineffectiveness in his position in the office and also the anger among another Trump's top members of his team have forced Trump to act and to also to force him to leave the White House, and also his interesting statement on social media and his inappropriate statement towards another U.S. politicians have forced Donald Trump to make such decision. But we will have to wait to see how these things can really turn out and play out with Donald Trump's making such decision, departuring, and also Donald Trump is firing Elon Musk from his office, as even enough any other protests are turning against him in the United States. That's all for today. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, stay with us on YouTube, and glory to Ukraine.